Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, warshippers of all ages, welcome to YouTube. My name is SeaRaptor, and it's time for more Scuttlebutt. Game in the background is straight off of my stream from this past Tuesday night. My viewers took a vote. They wanted me to play in Nueve de Julio, so, well, I did. This is actually the first game I'd ever played in the ship. I played Boise, right? But not this particular variant of Boise. One of the more overlooked premiums of last year, I suspect. And I really like the cruiser. I do pretty well in my Boise. I have a few games in her, but I had not played this particular version of the same ship before, so she's a 10-point captain, and on we go. So what's been going on in Warships that's worthy of conversation? Well, recap of last weekend, King of the Sea Day 2 and Day 3 consumed my life on Saturday and Sunday. We had some notable upsets in Day 2. Only half of the seeded teams won their groups, but all the seeded teams did move on to Day 3. And then in Day 3, the upsets continued, which was both surprising and interesting to watch. Former champions, defending champions, I should say, 07 squaring off against their final opponents from last King of the Sea in the Sweet 16. 07 versus PSV, and of course 07 winning that match. It won 2-0, but the games were very, very close. ZR finding themselves in the unfortunate position of having to forfeit their top 16 matches, so they're out. And then, of course, Cute lost to PWP in the top 8. So just like that, we had 75% turnover in the top 4 from the last King of the Sea. And it's always exciting to see new teams rising up the rungs of the competitive ladder. It's been fun to watch this event for expressly that reason. Rogue Fleet made a really good showing last King of the Sea, and now they're a top 4 team. And PWP and SCCC became teams that you didn't want to see in Season 4 of Clan Battles, playing in, well, not SCCC's first King of the Sea, definitely PWP's first King of the Sea, but certainly the first time these teams have made it quite this far. Both PWP and Rogue Fleet having to play straight through the Swiss to get here. Of the 8 seeded teams, only 07 and SCCC have made it to the top 4. So, there were some comments on Reddit and some other places that being a seeded team was like easy street, and I disagree. I think the tournament results bear that out as well. So, anyways, so onward and upward, right? Day 4 is tomorrow, Saturday. We're starting at 2 p.m. Eastern over on the main World of Warships channel. I'll put the link down below in the video description. The WGNA community team has graciously invited us back to their home to host the finals once again. So I am, by the time you see this, I will be on my way to Austin. Kami Samurai and I will be live casting from the regional publishing offices there in Austin, with Fem doing stream production there in the background. So huge props to them, and big thanks to them for hosting us and agreeing to host the event on their stream. Come on out, guys, come cheer for your favorite team to win the crown. It's going to be a lot of fun. Our third place match will be Rogue Fleet and SCCC. That will be starting at 2 p.m. Eastern, as we noted. And then the finals match will be 07 versus PWP, a clash of East and West. And I suspect that match will get off the ground sometime around 4 p.m. Eastern. Officially, it's on the schedule for 4:30, but my suspicion is we might be a little ahead of that. Either way, if you tune in by 4, if you're just looking for the finals, tune in by 4, and you should probably be okay. So what else is going on? Well, it's a sad day in Warships, for me anyway, for people who think, as I do, that premium ships should not be immune from the nerf bat. Wargaming, Sub-Octavian specifically, announced on Reddit and several other places today that they're scrapping the test program whereby they were testing an up-tiered version of a Giulio Cesare. And the decision was made in part because of the overwhelmingly negative response from players who prefer the current system. The current system that leaves, horribly OP ships like Belfast and Cesare, untouched. He's actually cited 4 different reasons for them. That was only one of them. I'll link the post below. You should go check it out for yourself and see what he has to say. If you watch my videos, you know that I was excited for the possibility here. I agree that Cesare at tier 6 was not in a good spot, right? She needed some more changes or tweaks or whatever, or potentially to put her back at tier 5 and, I don't know, nerf her Sigma, nerf her Dispersion. There were a lot of different things that could have been done to bring her into line. And the big thing here, my biggest reason for supporting this change is it would have allowed other unseen ships, right? The unseen, the mystical, all-knowing, invisible ships that aren't allowed to be sold again, right? Like Imperator Nikolai, or HMS Belfast, or Mikhail Kutuzov. If this change had been able to progress far enough and succeed, it would have allowed Wargaming to tweak those other ships and then bring them back into the shop, eventually having undergone their own test cycles as well. And I'm a huge proponent of this, especially for ships like Kutuzov and Belfast and possibly Missouri, if you put her on this list, because they're iconic museum ships. So yeah, I'm sad, right? I'm sad. It's a sad day for the future of the game, honestly, and to me, it's a bit of a depressing commentary on the community as a whole. I'm sad that we won't be getting ships like Belfast back in the game unless they come in some bizarre, different version. Kind of like how they did West Virginia 1941. Is there a possibility that we get a Belfast 1938? Well, yeah, I guess there could be. So maybe there's ways around this. I'm sad that Wargaming wasn't willing to push ahead and do what, to me, is obviously right for the long-term health of the game, and that they caved to all of the negative, and the naysaying, the community pressure, essentially, that they gave in. They just didn't want to deal with the backlash. To me, that's frustrating. One of the things that I've learned to appreciate over the years in my board and card gaming experiences, and in previous, computer gaming experiences as well, is when a development team is willing to make the unpopular choice because it's the right thing for the overall balance of the game. And that's why I was really, really excited to see Wargaming finally moving in this direction, and why I'm so bummed that they've walked it back literally 3 to 4 weeks after announcing it. The outcry was just so awful and so much of a headache. They were just like, forget it. And that, like I said, that just makes me sad. But I think mostly I'm really sad that there are people that play ships, that play the game, that prefer to protect their little OP sliver of seal clubbing goodness rather than have a better balanced game for everybody. Like, I was having a Twitter conversation with Volgar right before I went on the air. Volgar the Viking, fellow CC, and he completely disagrees with me. And I think that's awesome, right? Because we need people in this community to hold different viewpoints. But it does make me sad, right? Because to me, this is such an easy cut and dry case of why should we allow something that's so obviously unbalanced to remain as is just because people have spent money on it, right? Like, when I go buy other games, right, or when I buy CCGs, right, there's always the possibility, because the games themselves are made by human beings, that something is out of balance, that something is overpowered, or even potentially underpowered. But usually game designers only really focus, certainly on board games and card games, on the stuff that's horribly broken and ruining the environment for thousands and thousands and thousands of players. That's when they'll issue an errata, a card errata, or in really egregious cases, a ban on certain cards. Most of the time, the games I play have tended to stick to errata. They change the text on the card after it's printed, such that if you want to use that card in a competitive environment, you have to play it with the new wording. To me, that's essentially what we're talking about here, right? We're taking an existing thing that's not in balance, that's overpowered, and trying to tweak it a bit to bring it in line so that it fits within the context of the overall game that we're all playing and that we all enjoy. And there's a lot of people out there that don't want that. And to me, that's just sad. Like, I literally cannot wrap my brain around that position. I hear the bait and switch argument. I don't agree with it, but I understand the people who make it. That's fair. But to me, it's not bait and switch unless they're removing your thing entirely and handing you a pile of coal, right? They're just going to remove your ship and leave you with garbage. But they're not. They're trying to take the existing ship you have and tone it down to a point where it's not outrageously gross. And people are like, no, I would much rather keep my outrageously gross thing so I can club other people with it. And I really struggle with that. So that's fine. A lot of you guys won't agree with me on this and think this decision that they've made today is the best thing ever. And that's fine, right? I get it. I understand your decision. I understand your viewpoint. I just don't agree with it. I don't agree that it's the best decision for the overall long-term health of the game. And I'm sad that we're not going to be able to change this, because I've long believed that we refuse to nerf premiums policy is a bad one. I was excited to see them moving in this direction, and now that's over. So Ah, well. So what other changes have they been talking about? Some small things. There's a second round of testing going on underway for the Russian battleships right now. Just got started today, I believe. Looks like they're talking about reducing the accuracy or the sigma. I haven't dug into this yet. We know that the sigma was 1.7 for these ships throughout the line. There was a dev blog post saying that they were changing the accuracy of these ships. I'm not entirely positive where that, like, what did they do? Did they change the dispersion? They changed the sigma? I haven't done the research yet. I need to go find out. But if it's probably a good thing, right? If you watched last week's Scuttlebutt, you saw some pretty obscene salvos out of that tier 10 Kremlin, right? Like that was some cruiser dispersion in places. So, ugh. The other big change to the Russian battleships is they shortened the duration of damage control party. For Wargaming, these ships were not taking as much cruiser HE damage as they wanted, not enough fire damage, so they're shortening that DCP duration. It was running, yes, you only had 5 charges, but it ran for 20 full seconds. I think they're nerfing it down to 10 seconds, so it'll be a little shorter, like Japanese style, and then unlimited charges. There was also a nerf to Graf Zeppelin's torpedo alpha damage. I haven't checked to see if there was a corresponding nerf to her flood chance. I don't believe so. They only mentioned the alpha damage, but I'll check on that and we'll get the wiki updated accordingly. But yeah, some nerfs to GZ's torpedoes as well. Also, I didn't talk about this last week, but there was a Facebook post announcing a new trio of maps. I'm pretty excited to see this. It's just something that, for the first couple of years of the game, we constantly felt like every other patch we got a new map, which was fantastic. But it feels like it's been forever. I think it's literally been about a year since we had a new map, so I'm stoked. Give me more maps. Always, always give me the maps. Yes, please, please. So I think the most recent map we got was Sleeping Giant, like literally a year ago. And so they've announced they're going to put in 3 new maps. They haven't given us tiers or anything like this yet, so they're not quite out for testing. Maybe they haven't told us. I'm hoping maybe 8.3, maybe 8.2. I don't know. We'll see where they start. Will they start putting them on the test center and running them through their paces? So there's, incidentally, if you're interested in the whole new map concept, the new map ideas, there is a map making contest running on the NA forums right now, hosted by the NA community team. I'll put a link down below. But literally, they're inviting people to make a map, submit it, and potentially win some cool loot, and maybe, I think, get your map into the game. So check that link out and have a peek. Last thing I want to touch on this week is my stream. I don't really pimp my Twitch streaming here because, honestly, Twitch is not really my main thing. I've kind of shifted. YouTube is really where I want to put my focus. But I do have a small but pretty dedicated group of Twitch viewers, and so I want to let everybody know that I do stream once a week for 2 hours, generally 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Tuesday nights. And I'm bringing it up this week because I had such a great time this week. I sat down to try and learn Midway. I have not really invested time in new carriers. I haven't. And my viewers were amazing, helping me learn how not to suck in Midway. Now, they only partially succeeded. That's me, right? It's going to take time to learn the mechanics. But I had some, from where I started the night, I think I probably played 5, 6, 7 games in Midway. From where I started to where I ended, there was, I could tell the difference. I was more comfortable using the torpedoes, making the bomb drops and everything. So, I am no longer objectively terrible in Midway. I am perhaps just on the bad side of mediocre. Okay, but for me, that's an improvement. And I want to give a huge shout out to the guys that watched my stream that were very patient with me this week, that were helping me get better. Guys, it was amazing, and I really appreciate you. I also bring this up because I'm getting pretty close to a milestone over there. As I record this on Thursday, I'm at 998 followers. So as I break 1,000, that's going to trigger something fun. I'll put together some kind of giveaway or whatever. If I'm lucky, I'll hit the milestone before next Tuesday. But if I hit it on stream next Tuesday, we'll definitely do something fun. So anyways, look, guys, Tuesday nights on Twitch is where you'll find me. If you're interested, if you have the time, swing on by, say hello. I really appreciate it, and that's all I'll say about that. So yeah, definitely hope to see you over there. So, Nueve game winding down here in the background. Had a fun game in this ship. I did not take Concealment Expert. I took IFHE instead for my Tier 4 skill, because I only have a 10-point captain on this ship, and I think it worked out for the best. I was able to rack up quite a bit of damage, farming this Scharnhorst, and later on this Gneisenau out towards the end of the game. I kept expecting this Gneiss to kill me, but I also knew we were basically going to win this game with the 3 or 4, the big fleet we had pushed into B, so I wasn't super concerned, and, well, the end result turned out pretty well, and I was happy, so. Alright guys, thanks again for watching, as always. Again, I really hope you'll tune into King of the Sea tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern on Twitch, on the main World of Warships channel. I hope to see you there. Otherwise, I will see you guys hopefully maybe next Tuesday night on Twitch on my own channel, or back here next week for more Scuttlebutt. Until then, as always, be safe out there, and I'll see you next time.